Tonight, unrelenting deadly heat. More than 44 million across the country under heat warnings as parts of the Midwest reel from storms and flash flooding. And the rain isn't over yet. We have a report on what's next and the record number of people who've died during Hajj as the scorching heat hits millions worldwide. Plus,
in the case of the stealing of reproductive freedom from the women of America, Donald Trump is guilty.
We're just a few days away from the big presidential debate, and it's abortion that's front and center as the Dobbs Supreme Court decision that effectively struck down Roe v. Wade turns two. How Democrats are using the issue to pounce on Trump, and why the issue could come back during Thursday's debate. And
יכולה להיות תגובה מצה"ל, להגיד לך את האמת, זה מעניין אותי לא. הם הפקירו את חברות שלי, אין לי סיבה להקשיב להם, אז אם הם היו פה, הם היו בטוח מדברות.
It's an Israeli unit primarily made up of women, and they claim they warned of the October 7th attack by Hamas, but were ignored. In tonight's Prime Focus, they're coming forward and telling their story. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We're following those stories and much more, including the decision today from the Supreme Court that could set a national precedent on gender-affirming care for minors. Plus, we speak to the family member of two Americans killed due to extreme heat during their Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. And virtual meetings rose, of course, during the pandemic, but many workplaces kept them going. We take a look at the current state of those Zoom calls by the numbers. But we do begin tonight with the extreme weather. Coast to coast, parts of the Midwest are facing catastrophic flooding. 65 million Americans are dealing with that extreme heat. And on the East Coast, the possibility of dangerous rip currents. Tonight, hundreds of homes are underwater in western Iowa after more than 18 inches of rain in 2 weeks. Roughly 80 miles south of Minneapolis, a dam over the Blue Earth River breached. The raging water eroded its banks and forced families nearby to race to evacuate. And tonight, those heat alerts stretch from California to Minnesota to Florida. And as we've been reporting, more than 1,300 Hajj pilgrims have died due to extreme heat, including two Americans. We'll hear from their daughter in a moment. But first, Ginger Z has the forecast here at home straight ahead on this busy Monday night. Our Ariel Reshef leads us off from New York.
Tonight, record-breaking floods threatening to burst a dam. Days of rain crippling communities in the upper Midwest. The Rapidan Dam near Mankato, Minnesota, in the southern part of the state, at risk of imminent failure. Authorities warning residents along the Blue Earth River to be ready to evacuate. The danger coming after days of storms dumped up to 18 inches of rain in some spots, sending rivers over their banks, engulfing whole neighborhoods and destroying crucial infrastructure. Our Melissa Adan outside Sioux City, Iowa.
This railway bridge ripped apart by that raging river. You see the gushing water. Officials say it crested at 45 feet. That's historic levels, forcing many that live nearby to evacuate.
Iowa's governor says nearly 2,000 homes and businesses sustained damage, hundreds destroyed. South Dakota's governor telling reporters today that floodwaters killed at least one person in the state.
In case we needed any reminder of the destructive nature of water, we are seeing it in real time today.
The extreme heat fueling extreme storms in the east. In the last 24 hours, multiple tornado warnings in New England. Meanwhile, families seeking relief from the heat at our nation's beaches are getting caught in dangerous rip currents. Dozens of people rescued from North Carolina beaches in recent days. And in New York City, authorities suspended the search for two teenage boys swept out by a large wave at Jacob Riis Park. Witnesses say they went under around 6 p.m. Friday, just moments after lifeguards had left the beach for the day.
Lindsay, you can see it is so windy out here. It's almost hard to look at the camera with the sand whipping around. You can also see the red flag warnings behind me. Lifeguards at a nearby beach tell me they rescued 12 swimmers from rip currents just on Sunday alone, and they are bracing for more in the coming days. Lindsay.
Ariel, thank you. Our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, is tracking these rough conditions and all this heat and extreme weather. It continues on. Hey, Ginger.
Hey there, Lindsay. Yes, let's start with the heat, because over the weekend, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore among the dozens of cities that had daily record highs, but also they had 100-plus degree temperatures in June, which is the first time in June they'd done that since 12 years ago. So I also wanted to look real quick at the heat tomorrow. So it's all kind of focused right in the middle of the country, Omaha to Greenville, Mississippi, in excessive heat warnings. It'll feel anywhere between 110 and 116 degrees. Salt Lake City still has excessive heat warnings through tomorrow night, and Palm Springs, that's through Thursday night. So we will be talking about this big dome. It has just backtracked, is what it did over the weekend. And it's the overnight lows again that we'll be watching carefully, because you don't just break record highs in the afternoon, but you can break record low highs, those max mins as we call them. But still, staying around 80 degrees overnight does not allow for relief, especially if you don't have a way to cool yourself like air conditioning. So anywhere from Oklahoma City down to the Florida Panhandle and South Georgia have to be on the lookout tomorrow. Then we got to talk about storms, because there's this low pressure system and kind of a frontal system attached to it. Tonight, anywhere from south of Minneapolis or Twin Cities there, right through much of southwestern Wisconsin, a derecho could form. Remember, that's a long line of storms with easily gusts above 70 miles per hour, sometimes even higher. Chicago would wake up with those storms by 6 a.m. That's not going to be fun for the commute. And then we'll take the damaging wind threat primarily and move it from southwest Michigan tomorrow back to Kansas City. And on Wednesday, it'll make its way right through much of Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, and right there in the Hudson Valley. Lindsay?
Record low highs. I think I got it. All right, Ginger, our thanks to you. This year, more than 1,300 pilgrims died in the scorching heat during this year's Hajj pilgrimage. Temperatures at times reached up to 120 degrees in Saudi Arabia as Muslims made the trek to Mecca, the holiest city for Muslims. Among those killed were a married couple from Maryland, Isatu and Ali Uwuri, who'd saved for years to make the pilgrimage. And joining us now is their daughter, Saida Uwuri. Saida, we thank you so much for joining us. It can't begin to understand all the emotions that you're feeling at this point, but do want to send our condolences for the loss of your parents. Just give us a sense of how you first learned of their passing.
Thank you for your condolences. I appreciate it. A family member reached out to my grandmother to advise us that my parents had been missing for maybe 24 hours at that point, and they asked me to track them on the phone, see if I could locate the last location where their phones were, but I was unable to. We searched for maybe about 48 hours before that family member, the family friend rather, advised us that they had passed away. We were able to confirm with the U.S. Consulate General's office in Saudi Arabia that they had actually deceased.
And when was the last time that you talked with them?
It was actually the day that they passed away, June 15th. My mom sent me a text message just letting me know that they had been walking for over 2 hours, and they unfortunately passed away that same day.
How were their spirits before they left for the trip?
They were so excited. They have been thinking about this their entire life. They had been preparing for weeks up until the day that they left. So they were in amazing, great spirits.
As far as you know, what happened once they arrived in Mecca?
Unfortunately, the travel agent that they went through didn't provide the proper credentials. They didn't provide the proper transportation. They weren't provide food on after a few days. They were left to fend for themselves. So just many things went wrong with the travel agency that they went through.
And tell me about the permits that I'm under the assumption that your parents believed that the tour company was going to provide certain permits, but they did not.
Absolutely. So they paid $11,500 per person, and so much was promised to them. The hotel, food, the credentials, every credential that they would need, the visas that they would need, everything. So they thought that they were getting a full package. And when they got to Saudi Arabia, the agency just kept telling them, don't worry, it's coming, it's coming. And I don't know if it ever actually came, but I know that they were able to start the Hajj process at some point.
And did they have to stay out in the heat a longer period of time because they didn't have the permits?
Absolutely. Even up to like they were supposed to be provided tents while they were doing the Hajj process, and they weren't even provided a tent. One day, my mom did FaceTime me just outside while they were waiting for a tent, and they were also promised that it was coming, and it never came.
Your parents were 65 and 71. Would you consider them to be relatively healthy for their age?
Oh, absolutely. They were in great health. My mom's a nurse. She's been a nurse for over 30 years, so she made sure that they were good. And they had actually been preparing weeks before. They would take their 2 to 3 mile walks every day. So they were in good shape.
How would you like your parents to be remembered?
Just as the beautiful, amazing people they are. We're getting so much love and support from the community. My parents were very involved here in the DMV area, so I just want everyone to remember them for the nice, kind, generous person they were. They loved giving to charity. They loved volunteering. I just want everyone to remember them as such.
You seem very strong and composed. What's getting you through all this time?
My mom, she's very strong. She's very composed. I am literally just embodying her and how I can imagine she would be in such a tough situation like this.
Saida, we thank you again so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and sorry to be talking to you under these circumstances.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
There is chilling new video that shows the moment 3 hostages were taken by Hamas, including American-Israeli Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, who is still being held. In the video, one of the terrorists says that he wanted a selfie with their hostage. His arm had been blown off. Tonight, why his parents say they want the world to see this, and what Benjamin Netanyahu signaled about the war in Gaza. ABC's Matt Gutman reports from Tel Aviv, Israel, and a warning some may find it disturbing.
Just released video tonight showing Hamas terrorists racing into Gaza on October 7th. 3 hostages, including American Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, bleeding in the flatbed. In the video released by the families of the hostages, Hirsch's head pulled back, with one of the gunmen saying, "I want to take a selfie with him." Hirsch cradling his severed arm, all 3 hostages seriously wounded when militants tossed grenades into the shelter where Hirsch and more than a dozen others had taken refuge from Hamas's attack on the Nova Music Festival.
How does a mother watch her son go through that?
I mean, I literally watched it a few minutes ago, so I think I'm still in shock, and I think that I will be figuring out how I feel.
And we spoke to Hirsch's parents tonight.
It's horrendous, this video. We agreed to release it because horrendous things happened and might still be happening, and the world needs to know that.
And tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signaling a shift in the war in Gaza, saying the intense phase of fighting is about to end. Military sources telling ABC News the phase down is just weeks away, but Netanyahu stressing that does not mean the war is about to end. And Israel also facing mounting questions in the West Bank after this disturbing video. Soldiers seen strapping a Palestinian man, 23-year-old Mujahid Abadi, to the hood of their armored vehicle. He was shot in the leg and shoulder, but the Palestinian Red Crescent said they were initially prevented from treating Abadi. The IDF calling it a violation of orders and standard operating procedures and says it's investigating.
Matt Gutman joins us now from Tel Aviv. Matt, back to Netanyahu's comments. What does this mean for the war?
It follows, Lindsay, comments by the IDF chief of staff, other political and military leaders. But it's the first time the prime minister has actually said that there is going to be this shift to the 3rd phase of the war, the less intensive phase. It means fewer Israeli troops inside Gaza, but Israel would still maintain multiple buffer zones in the Gaza Strip and launch targeted raids inside Gaza as needed. And, back to the Pollen Goldberg family, amidst all that suffering in Gaza, they are also keenly aware that they do not want the world to forget their son and the other hostages. Lindsay.
Of course. All right. Matt Gutman from Tel Aviv. Thanks so much, Matt. Now to the race for the White House. We're just 3 days from the earliest presidential debate ever, and today is the second anniversary since the Supreme Court's landmark Dobbs decision overturned Roe v. Wade and a woman's constitutional right to an abortion. Many Democrats and abortion rights advocates, as well as abortion opponents, took to the steps of the Supreme Court to make their arguments heard. Vice President Kamala Harris tackled the issue on the campaign trail, first in Maryland, then flying across the country to Arizona to remind voters that 21 states have now successfully enacted restrictions or bans on abortion. Tonight, what we know about how President Biden himself is preparing for Thursday's debate and what Donald Trump is now saying about Biden's abilities. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
Tonight, President Biden is hunkering down at Camp David with over a dozen aides intensely preparing for the most consequential moment yet of this campaign. Sources say one of Biden's top goals on that debate stage to hold Donald Trump accountable for his actions as president. And today, a preview. On the 2-year anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Biden campaign releasing this ad, the president speaking directly to camera.
Here's what Donald Trump says about your freedom. After 50 years of failure, with nobody coming even close, I was able to kill Roe v. Wade. Decades of progress shattered just because the last guy got 4 years in the White House.
The First Lady hitting that message, too.
Because Donald Trump is dangerous to our families and to our country. We cannot let him win. We cannot sit by while our freedoms slip away.
Trump has boasted about appointing the justices who overturned Roe, saying abortion laws should be left up to the states, doubling down in Washington, D.C. over the weekend.
Well, thanks to these justices, we have also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get for 49 years, and we've gotten abortion out of the federal government and back to the states.
Unlike Biden, Trump is not formally preparing for Thursday's debate, but he has held more than a dozen policy discussions with current and former advisors. And though he has attacked Biden's stamina and mental fitness for months, with the debate approaching, Trump is now calling the president a worthy debater, saying he's not underestimating him. Still, Trump insists he has no debate strategy. In Philadelphia, he polled the crowd.
How should I handle him? Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
Mary Bruce joins us now from the White House. So tell us how the debate stage will differ on Thursday compared to back in 2020.
Well, Lindsay, of course, we all remember 4 years ago when they faced off just how contentious and chaotic those debates were, both sides trying to avoid that this time around. The biggest difference on Thursday night, the candidate's microphone will only be turned on when it is their turn to speak. It remains to be seen, though, whether that will dial down the temperature, Lindsay.
We will have to wait and see. All right, Mary, our thanks to you.
Thank you.
This Thursday night on ABC News, be sure to watch the CNN presidential debate simulcast. It all starts on ABC News Live at 7 p.m. Eastern with a special Race for the White House. The Supreme Court takes up the challenge to ban gender-affirming care for minors. A case from Tennessee involves a 15-year-old transgender daughter of Samantha and Brian Williams of Nashville. The family alleges that Senate Bill 1 violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which prohibits certain types of medical treatments for minors with diagnosed gender dysphoria. 25 states have passed bans on gender-affirming care, where laws are currently on hold under court order during litigation. A lawsuit filed Monday challenges the new Louisiana law requiring the 10 Commandments be displayed in public classrooms. The controversial law, signed by Republican Governor Jeff Landry, is being challenged by civil liberties groups. In 1980, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a similar Kentucky law violated the Establishment Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which says Congress can make no law respecting an establishment of religion. The 10 Commandments are expected to be displayed in Louisiana classrooms at the start of 2025. An actor and well-known surfer has died after being attacked by a shark off of Hawaii. ABC's Matt Rivers has this story.
Tonight, in a rare fatal shark attack, world-renowned surfer Tamayo Perry killed off the island of Oahu Sunday afternoon.
It is just a tragic loss. And Tamayo is a legendary waterman and highly respected, grew up right over here.
The 49-year-old was out surfing in the waters off Molaikahana State Park when he was attacked. Lifeguards recovering Perry's body by jet ski. Authorities saying he appeared to have suffered from multiple shark bites. Perry, a decades-long surfer and a veteran of the area ocean safety and lifeguard services. He also acted, making appearances in Hawaii Five-0,
Get to work.
Pirates of the Caribbean, and Blue Crush.
What's up, Maya?
Hey, how's it, girls?
How's it out there?
Oh, it's pretty nuts.
His friend Brian Beelman saying he ran into the surfer just the night before his death.
All I can say is he was a great Christian man. He's with his mom in heaven right now. There's no doubt about that. He was an incredible surfer. Everybody loved Tamayo.
Also on Sunday in North Carolina, police say a 14-year-old was bitten on the leg by a shark at North Topsail Beach.
14-year-old male that was bit by a shark.
Bystanders pulling the teen from the water. He was later transported to the hospital and is expected to recover. Despite natural fears, though, experts still say the chance of getting bitten extremely low.
What's your message to people who are going to the beach this summer?
So based on what we're learning, not just in California or Hawaii or Massachusetts or Florida, is that your probability of being bitten is so low, it really isn't something to worry about.
Our thanks to Matt for that. The world's biggest record companies are suing artificial intelligence song generators Suno and Udio for copyright infringement. The RIAA announced its lawsuit alleging that AI music startups are exploiting the recorded works of artists. The developer of Udio AI didn't immediately respond to requests for comments on the claims. An update now to a story that we've been following closely here on ABC News Live Prime. A mayor who filed a lawsuit claiming he'd been locked out of his mayoral duties will now get to do his job. Our Steve Osunsami interviewed Mayor Patrick Braxton last year, who said he'd filed candidacy paperwork and won because no one else had. But Braxton claimed the incumbent mayor and his city council blocked him from City Hall and city accounts. The defendants reached an agreement declaring Braxton the lawful mayor, but deny any wrongdoing. And we still have much more ahead here on Prime. Hiker is found days after he disappeared. How he survived alone in the mountains for more than a week. But next in our Prime Focus, were there warning signs before the war between Israel and Hamas? Why an Israeli unit believes everything could have gone much differently.
כן, התעלמו מאיתנו לגמרי, זלזלו בנו. אף אחד לא באמת התייחס למה שאמרנו, לדעתי בעיקר בגלל שאין לי דרגות על הכתפיים.
You're watching America's #1 streaming news. Keep streaming with ABC News Live.
I experienced a lot of rejection, a lot of heartache. I'm a tough woman, but it's not easy. I have my days where you gotta do whatever you can to crawl out of those dark holes. You're gonna feel lonely. There was a lot of personal stuff in my life that was really falling apart. It's taken me a really long time to even get to this moment. I feel like every pair of bell bottoms all come with a different story. 19 years old, pulling up to Nashville, I was terrified.
Not everybody makes it.
I was a fish out of water. At times, I was too country for country.
You were living in a trailer for a while.
I remember sitting out in this camper trailer, crying my eyes out, thinking, is it ever gonna happen? But Mom and Daddy didn't raise no quitter.
I have had the hardest 2 months of my life.
My daddy has not been doing well.
We've been through a lot these past few years, and it kind of makes me emotional. Y'all gonna see me cry again.
I was scrolling on TikTok. I noticed a few videos of my butt that had gone viral. At first, I was laughing. I'm like, these people ain't right.
No matter what size you are beautiful.
Being a woman in country music can be tough.
And the CMA Award for Album of the Year
For Female Vocalist of the Year.
Entertainer of the Year
Goes to
Lainey Wilson.
That was a mic drop.
The Entertainer of the Year, baby.
Lainey's album, Bell Bottom Country, changed the game.
There ain't nothing better than this.
Hold my beer, watch this.
What she is doing right now is changing country music.
I do see the bell bottoms and the hat as my superhero outfit.
Go, Lainey!
It's mind-blowing. It's magic.
I'm proud of myself. I really am. I have worked my ass off. Now it's time to see what's next.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thursday, on the day of their first debate, stream ABC News Live for all the breaking pre-debate details and coverage. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, stream a special debate edition of ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. And at 8 Eastern, David Muir and the ABC News special, The Race for the White House. And then watch the CNN presidential debate simulcast, streaming live on ABC News Live. And stay with ABC News Live for the instant reaction and all the fallout after the debate all night.
Welcome back, everyone. What if the Israel and Hamas war could have been stopped before it ever even started? Israeli soldiers at a base right next to Gaza say they saw the warning signs ahead of time. In tonight's Prime Focus, our Inez de la Cuatara has the story of the unit tasked with monitoring everything. The members say they weren't listened to and believe if they had been, everything could have been different.
There were birthday candles, laughter, and dancing. Lots of dancing. A sisterhood built around service, with some of these young women fresh out of high school completing their mandatory military service.
אתן מכינות אוכל ביחד, אתן ישנות ביחד, אתן מתקלחות ביחד, אתן קמות ביחד, אתן עולות למשמרת ביחד, מדברות במשמרת, צוחקות במשמרת, שרות במשמרת.
But for this Israeli observation unit, life on base was also challenging. Stationed at the Nahal Oz base, less than half a mile from Gaza, they were known as the eyes of the military, constantly monitoring hundreds of surveillance cameras overlooking the border, always watching, always on high alert.
הרגישו שמשהו חריג עומד לקרות.
On October 6th, the young women shared dinner to mark the holiday of Simchat Torah, one of the most joyous festivals in Judaism. Just a few hours later, hundreds of Hamas militants breached the border. Nahal Oz is first in the line of fire. But were warnings from these observation soldiers ignored? This is the untold story of Unit 414.
כל מה שראינו תמיד התרענו, גם אנחנו מחויבות לעשות את זה. כל דבר חריג שאת רואה, את מעבירה את זה במחשב, וזה עובר הלאה. לאן הלאה אין לי מושג, כביכול למודיעין. אבל אני לא מקבלת על זה תשובה בחזרה מה עשו עם זה.
Ronnie Lifshitz was part of Unit 414, but happened to be away at a training on October 7th. She says she risks serious consequences in speaking with us.
כנראה יכולה להיות תגובה מצה"ל, נגיד לך את האמת, זה מעניין אותי לא. הם הפקירו את חברות שלי, אין לי סיבה להקשיב להם, אז אם הם היו פה, הם היו בטוח מדברות.
Her unit knew its task was of the utmost importance to monitor the cameras overlooking the Gaza border at all times and report any unusual activity. She tells us it is almost always women who are assigned surveillance positions.
זה תפקיד שאת צריכה המון קשב. לבנים אין את זה, בנים לא יכולים לשבת 4 שעות ולהתרכז במשהו
Ronnie says what they saw was a flurry of alarming activity. In the months leading up to October 7th, the young observers were reporting events nearly every day.
סיור קו זה, יש לך, אומרים לך 10 טנדרים, שזה 300 מטר מהגדר על ציר. עוברים לך 10 טנדרים, שזה חריג. עוצרים לך בכל עמדה של החמאס. זה 1, 2, זה האימונים שהיינו רואים לעומק. מתאמנים, כאילו, כנראה מחבלים. מתאמנים. את רואה, כמו ממש פעילות של צבא, מתגלגלים, לומדים איך לראות.
Every Friday, it was like in the routine.
Ronnie's account lines up with what Ori Asaf says he heard from his girlfriend, Sergeant Osher Barzilay, a communications officer who was killed inside the Nahal Oz command center. He shows us text messages Osher sent him just 2 weeks before October 7th. Osher writing, "All the violent disturbances and incendiary balloons are in our sector. Ori, everything is here. 3 violent disturbances, people armed with weapons and explosives. The fence is destroyed." He says Asher couldn't tell him everything since much of the information was classified, but she repeatedly told him she saw Hamas burying explosives near the border. The warning signs were there, says Ronnie, but those at the top didn't take them seriously.
כן, התעלמו מאיתנו לגמרי, זלזלו בנו. אף אחד לא באמת התייחס למה שאמרנו, לדעתי בעיקר בגלל שאין לי דרגות על הכתפיים. בגלל שאני סתם חיילת פשוטה בת 20 ולא עשיתי כלום ושום דבר.
The responsibility of a government is to protect the people, and clearly that responsibility wasn't met. And we'll have a lot of questions, a lot of investigations, but I have now one responsibility. And the responsibility is to defeat Hamas.
According to the New York Times, Israeli intelligence obtained a Hamas document laying out the blueprint for a major attack more than a year before October 7th. The Times says the report was dismissed as aspirational by Israeli officials.
Dad, the camera and the fence in this point are not working. Dad, there is a problem in the fence here. Nobody came to fix it.
Eyal Eshel's daughter, Ronnie Eshel, was also part of Unit 414 and Ronnie Lifshitz's best friend. She was 19.
She was smile for everyone. After she was born, she was smile for everyone. And this is the smile that we are remember.
In a chilling phone conversation obtained exclusively by ABC News, Ronnie can be heard telling her mother in September that she's overwhelmed by what she's seeing.
תקשיב, 3 ימים ברצף, פרשים טורקיים. היום היה הפסד בקרני, היה פיצוץ מיטה.
Eyal takes us inside what's left of the base and into the command center where his daughter would have watched Hamas's incursion.
The girls are sitting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Reporting it in real time. Until their cameras were neutralized. Video circulating on social media shows some of the off-duty observation soldiers huddling in their pajamas, terrified as explosions are heard in the distance.
Allahu Akbar!
When over 100 Hamas fighters attacked the base, they set the command center on fire. Many of the young observation soldiers trapped inside.
They burned them. They didn't found the dog tags. They didn't found bodies.
What did they find?
Pieces. You can understand what I'm saying. Pieces.
There were only a few combat soldiers stationed at the base that day who tried to fend off the attackers. Observation soldiers are told their cameras are their weapons, so they are always unarmed, even when stationed so close to Gaza.
You never had a gun on you when you were at the base?
No, never.
Did you feel unsafe?
Yes. לא הכינו יותר מדי, בחיים לא אמרו לי לאן ללכת שיש חדירת מחבלים לבסיס.
Eyal says it's not just that the girls' warnings were ignored, they were also abandoned, left to fend for themselves on October 7th for 6 hours. When they called for help that day, he says this was the answer.
Good luck, Nachalos. Take care. We don't have enough soldiers to come here and rescue. So, take care. Take care. Oh, if she just called me and said, Father, come here to take me home. I don't know. I just think about it.
"15 of the observation soldiers were killed. 7 were taken hostage. Seen here handcuffed and bloodied. Their families giving us permission to show this video. 5 remain in Gaza to this day."
Why the commanders in the intelligence corps of the IDF didn't listen to those brave female spotters? This is something which is unbelievable.
Noam Tiban is an IDF major general who went to rescue his own family on October 7th.
This is why Nahal Oz is a symbol of the failure, is a symbol of what happened to us on October 7th. Everybody that is in charge of this failure need to go away.
In response to our detailed list of questions about Nahal Oz, the IDF sent us a short statement saying the IDF is currently focused on eliminating the threat from the terrorist organization Hamas. Questions of this kind will be looked into at a later stage. In March, the IDF announced it was launching an internal probe into its missteps. Results are expected to be released by the end of August.
We're still waiting. Nobody from the army made the investigation. In October 7, like Noah, Noam, Aviv, Adi, Osher, my Ronnie.
With no end in sight to the war, Ronnie's best friend can't help but reflect on all the lives that she believes could have been saved if only someone had listened.
אם באמת מישהו היה נותן פקודה של להביא יותר לוחמים, לשים אותם על הגדרות, יכול להיות שלא היו כל כך הרבה נרצחים ונופלים, וחברות שלי היו ניצלות.
Some very powerful reporting. Our thanks to Inez for that. And we do have some breaking news this evening. We're learning WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could be a free man after years in exile in an Ecuadorian embassy and then ultimately in jail where he's been behind bars since 2019. Assange plans to plead guilty to violating the Espionage Act as part of a deal with the U.S. that will allow him to go free, according to court documents just published online. The charges stem from a 2009 publication of one of the largest leaks of classified information in U.S. history after Assange worked with then military intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning, disclosing tens of thousands of reports about the war in Afghanistan. Assange is expected to appear in court on the plea deal soon. We'll be right back.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different. On June 10th, 1985, New York Magazine published Hollywood's Brat Pack. I just remember seeing that cover and thinking, oh. From then on, my career and the career of everyone who was involved was branded as the Brat Pack.
I'm really sorry that article had to come out.
I've never talked to anybody about what that was like. So I thought it might be interesting to try and contact everyone who was in the Brat Pack. Hey, Emilio Estevez. This is Andrew McCarthy calling you. Hey, Allie. Hey, Demi. Hey, Molly. Let's call Rob. Hello? Judd? Me? You around? You were not interested in talking about the Brat Pack for years.
I turned everything down.
How come you're talking to me?
Because you called me. It was time that we clear the air on a couple of things.
I love your stuff, Bob. Hey, thank you. I hated the Brat Pack for decades. What a disaster. If you could have the Brat Pack name not exist, would you?
It really irritated me. They said, what's more important to you, the movie or your life? And I said,
the movie!
Andrew.
Have you talked to the others? The others, like, again, it feels like a cult or something.
Yeah. Why did we take it as an offense?
Well,
As opposed to like
the brat.
Because we were young.
We were afraid we were brats, you know? Are you in the Brat Pack?
I'm Brat Pack adjacent.
That's what I was saying.
I am not in the Brat Pack.
Crush on you back in the day?
You did not, Andrew. No, you did not.
Being in the Brat Pack not only changed all of our lives, it changed what entertainment is. I mean, I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium. There were moments.
We could have. 1985, I think we could have.
So what are you filming?
Oh, we're just doing this documentary.
What's it about?
Ancient history.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
I'm Anthony Mackie. Like most fishermen, sharks used to terrify me. If the shark gets too close, I should hit it in the nose.
Well, you don't need to hit it.
I'm on a quest to find out why these apex predators, that's amazing, are swiping fishermen's hard-earned catches. What? You saw that?
Shark Beach with Anthony Mackie.
Woo! That's our fish. Look at that.
Part of the sharkiest 4-week celebration this summer. Shark Fest starts Sunday at 9 on National Geographic.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight, police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward,
with some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live. I'm Janae Norman in Wulong, China, with Bao Li, the giant panda heading to the U.S. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're watching ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone. As many of us start to think about taking some time off this summer, we have Zoom to thank for making those leashes that keep us tied to our work desks just a little bit looser. But while working from home has clear benefits, there are some pitfalls as well, and that is tonight's By the Numbers. Fully remote workers were promoted 31% less frequently last year than their in-person peers, according to the employment data platform Live Data Technologies. 90% of CEOs even admitted in a survey by KPMG that they were more likely to give raises, promotions, and better assignments to those employees who came into the office. Workers nonetheless are heading to the office 30% less frequently than prior to the pandemic. Bosses, though, can tell a lot about you from how you behave in virtual meetings. Workers who left their company within a year had their cameras on only 18% of the time while in small group meetings. Now compare that to workers who stayed with their company longer than a year. They kept their cameras on 32% of the time. These stats according to the analytics firm Viopta. We know those virtual meetings didn't go away after the pandemic either. We still have 10 virtual meetings per week as of last year. That's even more than the 8.3 virtual meetings we averaged per week in 2021. And we still have much more ahead here on Prime. A huge sign of medical progress, how a man got a kidney transplant and was sent home less than 24 hours later. And the great news for fans of the film Freaky Friday. Details about the new spin on the Disney favorite.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo,
Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky,
Minneapolis,
Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
Are you ready to celebrate? Sunday, June 30th, across the country. See, experience some of the nation's greatest pride celebrations, all in one place as they happen live, right here on ABC News Live. Pride across America. Celebrate joy, love, freedom, and pride. Sunday, June 30th, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Streaming on ABC News Live and stream on Hulu.
Nightline, the stories that shape your world, that shape your life. Dramatic, stunning, empowering, jaw-dropping. The most powerful stories of our time. Nightline, on right after Kimmel and streaming on Hulu. Now streaming on Hulu.
I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint. I'm John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi. The new special, what you have not yet seen. John Bon Jovi with Michael Strahan. Now streaming on Hulu. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Give it to me.
All right, let the dogs out, please.
I don't think he's going to give you a hard time.
Even if he gives me a hard time, I'm the right guy.
You can handle it.
I want to make sure that we all learn together.
Calm, confident.
Calm, confident, calm, surrender.
Everything that he's taught has become a reality. We are so grateful and impressed. I feel like crying. You changed our world.
It is a beautiful thing to see. As you rehabilitate the dog, you also rehabilitate you.
Justin Timberlake seems to allude to his recent arrest. A hiker is rescued after being lost for more than a week in the mountains, and a beloved Disney film is coming back for a sequel. These stories and much more in tonight's Rundown.
It's been a tough week.
Justin Timberlake back on stage and breaking his silence after being arrested, accused by police of getting behind the wheel while intoxicated in the Hamptons.
I know sometimes I'm hard to love, but you keep on loving me and I love you.
The pop star speaking out to fans in Chicago just days after being charged with a misdemeanor DWI.
A 38-year-old man has died days after he was hit by a roller coaster at an Ohio amusement park. The man suffered a traumatic injury Wednesday after entering a restricted fenced area near a roller coaster at Mason, Ohio's Kings Island theme park. A witness said the man had lost something on the ride, and the roller coaster hit him when he went back to get it.
A man who was stranded in Northern California mountains for 10 days is talking about how he survived. 34-year-old Luke McClish set out for a hike on June 11th in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where he says he got lost. Rescuers finally found him last Thursday.
I would just make sure that I drank at least a gallon of water every day.
During the search, witnesses reported hearing someone yelling for help, leading officials to McClish, who says he lost 30 pounds over the 10 days.
Athletic apparel company Under Armour has agreed to pay $434 million to settle an investor class action lawsuit. Investors accuse the company of deceiving shareholders to make its sales appear stronger than they were. Under Armour says the settlement is not an admission of guilt and denies wrongdoing. Northwestern Medicine surgeons have successfully performed a kidney transplant with the patient awake. Local anesthesia numbed the area for the entire surgery, similar to what people have done during a C-section. The 28-year-old Chicago patient, John Nicholas, said he felt no pain during the procedure. The hospital sent him home less than a day after surgery.
I was still able to be somewhat aware of what they were doing, especially when they called out my name and told me about certain milestones they had reached. Like, oh, hey, you know, we actually connected it. Hey, we're sewing things up.
Doctors at Northwestern Medicine say having the patient awake and avoiding general anesthesia and intubation may improve the patient's experience and likely allows a more rapid recovery.
Wake up.
Remember Disney's hit comedy Freaky Friday?
You couldn't last one day in my high school.
Cookie.
Disney is the parent company of ABC News. It announced today that production on the sequel has begun in Los Angeles. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan reprising their roles as Tess and Anna Coleman, with many original cast members also returning. The 2003 film sequel has a multi-generational twist. It'll take place years after mom and daughter endured an identity crisis. Disney plans to release the film in U.S. theaters next year.
The Israel-Hamas conflict is complex, layered with religion, race, and land disputes. It dates back generations without a peaceful resolution, which is what makes one particular class at Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism so unique. Two professors, Ari Goldman, who is Jewish, and Greg Khalil, who is Palestinian, co-teach Covering Religion, part of an educational mission to approach conflicts with empathy and understanding, especially in the wake of protests on Columbia's campus and beyond in recent months. Both professors kind enough to join us now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How do you think that Columbia University in particular handled when you talk about things blowing up? I mean, we saw it really happening there. It was kind of like an epicenter for a lot of the tumult that we were seeing all across the country. How do you feel that it was handled within your own campus?
I personally don't think it was handled well at all, but I think what many viewers missed is that Columbia's failures extended well before the encampments and the protests. If we can't have these conversations on campus, is it no wonder so many of our democratic institutions feel like they're failing?
Has there been any kind of discussion that you feel like more people need to hear this, where we're coming to some ideas, anyway, of possibilities for resolution?
Well, I would get back to what Greg said about the behavior or the success of Columbia University. I think he would probably give it a failing grade. I would give it maybe a C plus. I don't think we've been as bad as some people might think. I think the university has made strides, has done some things good. I support the student right to speak out and to protest and even to demonstrate on campus. But I think when things got intimidating, when things got violent, when things got broke the law, they needed to be stopped. So,
were there disagreements, those kinds of disagreements that when discussions that we were seeing play out in the encampments, were those happening in the classroom? And how do you all go about resolving them on the spot? I feel that our students were well prepared to cover this big story. This story came to our door. They came, a big international story is suddenly at our doorstep. And as journalists, we took advantage of that.
We very much disagree on the approach of the university. I don't think the violent approach of the university after the encampments or many months before was warranted, but there were a lot of stories that we didn't see. I remember the third night of Passover, for example, being next to the encampment at Pulitzer Hall where we teach and heard the Muslim call for prayer from the encampment, went over. I saw 20 students holding up bed sheets around Muslim students who were praying an hour and a half before the start of Passover when the Jewish students there, and there was a sizable minority of students there who were Jewish, held a multi-faith meal in honor of Passover. So there were a lot of positive stories that were coming out of that you didn't see.
I am curious to know how your opposing viewpoints helped to inform how you teach your students.
We try to show how you can disagree with someone and yet be friendly with them. You can disagree with someone and discuss your differences, and you could coexist with them without saying you have to agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, you're out of here. You have nothing to contribute to me.
One thing people have been talking about a lot lately is Zionism, and I'm curious if you all have the same definition of Zionism.
Well, I am a proud Zionist. I declare myself to be such. I'm someone who believes in the promise of a Jewish homeland and of the necessity of a Jewish homeland. There is no other country where Jews can go and feel like this is their country. There are Muslim countries, there are Christian countries, there is no other Jewish country. And I believe that it's essential. I don't agree with everything that Israel does, and Zionism doesn't require me to agree with everything Israel does.
And do you think there could be a Palestinian state in there?
Absolutely. And I think there should be.
And I actually have a very different view of Zionism. I fundamentally believe that there is no good future for any Israeli or Palestinian without a good reality for every Palestinian and Israeli. That security, dignity, safety, freedom, equality, justice for everyone. And I think that Zionism, the motivations behind Zionism are things I completely support and understand. The Jewish quest for self-determination, for liberation, which I actually believe is intertwined with Palestinian liberation. So Zionism, in its reality, is resulting in sort of this indefinite control over millions of people's lives. And that's something that I think is wrong. And we need to find a way out that centers fundamental human rights for everyone.
What's the way forward?
Greg used the word indefinite. It's not indefinite. It's gone on too long. And I think there should be a Palestinian state. And I think the proposal that President Biden has on the table is one that I support and I think has the possibility to eventually lead to a Palestinian state and normalize relations between Israel and some of its Arab neighbors.
And I think it's actually a little bit more complex than that. I think, when you say it's gone on too long, it's all the generations of my family, 4 generations, who've never known 1 second of freedom, who've lived lives under absolute military control by another state based on who they are. That's wrong. We don't have more time to wait. And unfortunately today, the path forward is not clear. God Gaza's going to take 80 years to rebuild. It's like the building next door is on fire, there are children dying, but the next critical step is to put the fire out, save as many children as possible, release the captives, and we have to do whatever we can before this problem in Gaza, which many around the world are calling an act of genocide, explodes regionally and even globally.
He said that it's wrong, that his family for generations has had to live, as he described it, in kind of not knowing freedom. Would you agree that that's wrong?
I agree, and I want the situation to be better. I want it to change. Our job is not to resolve the Arab-Israel conflict, and we're not going to, whatever ideas we have. Our job is to teach journalists how to write about this subject in a way that recognizes the other side, that here's his argument and here's my argument, or here's not my argument, then the Israeli argument.
We could all benefit from that class.
And on that, we are absolutely committed. We may be ideologically opposed in one sense, but we're good friends. I love Ari like family. That's not just a saying. And we believe that we as a society need to hold space and build space for people as different as us, to enable others to have these conversations too.
Gentlemen, we hope that we will be able to get the conversation started in households and beyond, all around the world. We thank you so much for this kind of safe space to have this kind of discussion. People need to talk about it more. Professors Ari Goldman and Greg Khalil, we thank you. Finally tonight, how one California fire department is united in fighting fires and now fathering.
There must be something in the water that the Visalia firefighters are using in Central Valley, California. They're not only saving lives, they're busy making them. Over the past year, the VFD has welcomed 15 babies into their families, the most ever born into the department in a single year. Just a few days ago, 13 of the babies got together, a chance to introduce the newest family members to the squad.
Say hi.
7 boys and 8 girls, ranging in age from 17 months to 3 months, all meeting for the first time, where else? At the firehouse. Then joining their proud dads for this family photo. It wasn't all that long ago these firefighters were further united as fathers. Even when they're off duty, they know a thing or two about putting out fires. They all share a closer bond thanks to this wave of baby fever.
Love those photos. And that is our show for this hour. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, the latest on a search for the man accused of tackling a woman in a park and trying to sexually assault her.
They call him the Beauty Queen Killer. He's targeting young women in malls, posing as a photographer. Police believe he will strike again.
I am single. I am still gay in life. I want to enjoy the company of a number of women.
A string of abductions and murders. One of the most wanted fugitives for the FBI.
Across the country, young women disappeared.
He controlled me. He tortured me.
How are you feeling? Do you remember what happened? One day at the mall,
I noticed this man standing around with a camera, watching me. Handsome, charismatic, very persuasive. He approached me. He claimed that he could make me a model. This is the one point that I regret every second of my life. Boom, 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 boom.
it just changed like that.
He had his .45 pointed at me, and I never made it home.
I'm nervous for my family, nervous for every girl. I'm nervous for you.
I got my eyes taped shut. He started electrocuting me. You have to obey.
The word accomplice came up.
They insisted that Tina was involved. Was she complicit, or was she a victim of it? It's very strange behavior.
I have never heard a story of a serial killer letting someone go. I'm wondering if you ever think, why?
Whether you you believe me or not, it's my truth. Nobody knows the real story. I felt like there was no way you can escape. What do you do? How do you get out of it? What would you do?
The Beauty Queen Killer. 9 Days of Terror. Streaming only on Hulu.
You're watching America's #1 streaming news, ABC News Live. Breaking news, exclusives, live reporting across the globe. Keep streaming with ABC News Live.
How do you feel? Gay as hell.
I love it here.
Is this real?
100%.
I think you still look at me that way.
Will you marry me? I want pageantry that takes months and months to plan.
My girls have a
Let's go.
We are heading into the unknown.
It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, including the more than 40 million under heat alerts across the country and the major floods hitting several states. Plus, the new deal just struck between Julian Assange and the Department of Justice and what it means for the charges dogging him for years. And how China and the U.S. are now restarting diplomatic relations by way of pandas. We're in China before their newest pair of giant pandas are sent to America. But we do begin with the extreme weather. Coast to coast parts of the Midwest are facing catastrophic flooding. 65 million Americans are dealing with extreme heat. And on the East Coast, the possibility of dangerous rip currents. Tonight, hundreds of homes are underwater in western Iowa after up to 18 inches of rain in 2 weeks. And those heat alerts stretch from California to Minnesota all the way to Florida. Ginger Z will have the forecast here at home straight ahead. But on this busy Monday night, our Ariel Reshef leads us off from New York.
Tonight, record-breaking floods threatening to burst a dam. Days of rain crippling communities in the upper Midwest. The Rapidan Dam near Mankato, Minnesota, in the southern part of the state, at risk of imminent failure. Authorities warning residents along the Blue Earth River to be ready to evacuate. The danger coming after days of storms dumped up to 18 inches of rain in some spots, sending rivers over their banks, engulfing whole neighborhoods and destroying crucial infrastructure. Our Melissa Adan outside Sioux City, Iowa.
This railway bridge ripped apart by that raging river. You see the gushing water. Officials say it crested at 45 feet. That's historic levels, forcing many that live nearby to evacuate.
Iowa's governor says nearly 2,000 homes and businesses sustained damage, hundreds destroyed. South Dakota's governor telling reporters today that floodwaters killed at least one person in the state.
In case we needed any reminder of the destructive nature of water, we are seeing it in real time today.
The extreme heat fueling extreme storms in the east. In the last 24 hours, multiple tornado warnings in New England. Meanwhile, families seeking relief from the heat at our nation's beaches are getting caught in dangerous rip currents. Dozens of people rescued from North Carolina beaches in recent days. And in New York City, authorities suspended the search for 2 teenage boys swept out by a large wave at Jacob Riis Park. Witnesses say they went under around 6 p.m. Friday, just moments after lifeguards had left the beach for the day.
Ariel, thank you. Our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, is tracking these rough conditions and all this heat and extreme weather. It continues on. Hey, Ginger.
Hey there, Lindsay. Yes, let's start with the heat, because over the weekend, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore among the dozens of cities that had daily record highs, but also they had 100-plus degree temperatures in June, which is the first time in June they'd done that since 12 years ago. So I also wanted to look real quick at the heat tomorrow. So it's all kind of focused right in the middle of the country, Omaha to Greenville, Mississippi, in excessive heat warnings. It'll feel anywhere between 110 and 116 degrees. Salt Lake City still has excessive heat warnings through tomorrow night, and Palm Springs, that's through Thursday night. So we will be talking about this big dome. It has just backtracked, is what it did over the weekend. And it's the overnight lows again that we'll be watching carefully, because you don't just break record highs in the afternoon, but you can break record low highs, those max mins as we call them. But still, staying around 80 degrees overnight does not allow for relief, especially if you don't have a way to cool yourself like air conditioning. So anywhere from Oklahoma City down to the Florida Panhandle and South Georgia have to be on the lookout tomorrow. Then we got to talk about storms because there's this low pressure system and kind of a frontal system attached to it. Tonight, anywhere from south of Minneapolis or Twin Cities there, right through much of southwestern Wisconsin, a derecho could form. Remember, that's a long line of storms with easily gusts above 70 miles per hour, sometimes even higher. Chicago would wake up with those storms by 6 a.m. That's not going to be fun for the commute. And then we'll take the damaging wind threat primarily and move it from southwest Michigan tomorrow back to Kansas City. And on Wednesday, it'll make its way right through much of Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, and right there in the Hudson Valley. Lindsay?
Record low highs. I think I got it. All right, Ginger, our thanks to you. And we do have some breaking news this evening. We're learning WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could soon be a free man after years in exile in an Ecuadorian embassy and then ultimately in jail, where he's been behind bars since 2019. Assange plans to plead guilty to violating the Espionage Act as part of a deal with the U.S. that will allow him to go free, according to court documents just published online. The charges stem from a 2009 publication of one of the largest leaks of classified information in U.S. history after Assange worked with then military intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning, disclosing tens of thousands of reports about the war in Afghanistan. Assange is expected to appear in court on the plea deal soon. There's chilling new video that shows the moment 3 hostages were taken by Hamas, including American-Israeli Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, who's still being held. In the video, one of the terrorists says that he wants a selfie with their hostage after his arm had been blown off. Tonight, why his parents say they want the world to see the video, and what Benjamin Netanyahu signaled about the war in Gaza. ABC's Matt Gutman reports from Tel Aviv, Israel, and a warning some may find it disturbing.
Just released video tonight showing Hamas terrorists racing into Gaza on October 7th. 3 hostages, including American Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, bleeding in the flatbed. In the video released by the families of the hostages, Hirsch's head pulled back, with one of the gunmen saying, "I want to take a selfie with him." Hirsch cradling his severed arm, all 3 hostages seriously wounded when militants tossed grenades into the shelter where Hirsch and more than a dozen others had taken refuge from Hamas's attack on the Nova Music Festival.
How does a mother watch her son go through that?
I mean, I literally watched it a few minutes ago, so I think I'm still in shock, and I think that I will be figuring out how I feel.
And we spoke to Hirsch's parents tonight.
It's horrendous, this video. We agreed to release it because horrendous things happened and might still be happening, and the world needs to know that.
And tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signaling a shift in the war in Gaza, saying the intense phase of fighting is about to end. Military sources telling ABC News the phase down is just weeks away, but Netanyahu stressing that does not mean the war is about to end. And Israel also facing mounting questions in the West Bank after this disturbing video. Soldiers seen strapping a Palestinian man, 23-year-old Mujahid Abadi, to the hood of their armored vehicle. He was shot in the leg and shoulder, but the Palestinian Red Crescent said they were initially prevented from treating Abadi. The IDF calling it a violation of orders and standard operating procedures and says it's investigating.
Our thanks to Matt for that. We are now 3 days from the earliest presidential debate ever, and we'll be showing the CNN debate right here on ABC on Thursday night. But tonight, how President Biden and former President Trump are preparing for the return to the lighted stage to face off again. Here's Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
Tonight, President Biden is hunkering down at Camp David with over a dozen aides intensely preparing for the most consequential moment yet of this campaign. Sources say one of Biden's top goals on that debate stage to hold Donald Trump accountable for his actions as president. And today, a preview. On the 2-year anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Biden campaign releasing this ad, the president speaking directly to camera.
Here's what Donald Trump says about your freedom. After 50 years of failure, with nobody coming even close, I was able to kill Roe v. Wade. Decades of progress shattered just because the last guy got 4 years in the White House.
The First Lady hitting that message, too.
Because Donald Trump is dangerous to our families and to our country. We cannot let him win. slip away.
Trump has boasted about appointing the justices who overturned Roe, saying abortion laws should be left up to the states, doubling down in Washington, D.C. over the weekend.
Thanks to these justices, we have also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get for 49 years, and we've gotten abortion out of the federal government and back to the states.
Unlike Biden, Trump is not formally preparing for Thursday's debate, but he has held more than a dozen policy discussions with current and former advisors. And though he has attacked Biden's stamina and mental fitness for months, with the debate approaching, Trump is now calling the president a worthy debater, saying he's not underestimating him. Still, Trump insists he has no debate strategy. In Philadelphia, he polled the crowd.
How should I handle him? Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
Our thanks to Mary Bruce. This Thursday night on ABC News, be sure to watch the CNN presidential debate simulcast. It all starts on ABC News Live at 7 p.m. Eastern with a special race for the White House. The Supreme Court announced today it will take up a constitutional challenge to state bans on gender-affirming care for minors. The case from Tennessee involves a 15-year-old transgender daughter of Samantha and Brian Williams of Nashville. The family alleges that Tennessee's Senate Bill 1, which prohibits certain types of medical treatments for minors with diagnosed gender dysphoria, violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment by discriminating against transgender youth. 25 states have passed bans on gender-affirming care. Those laws are now on hold. Now to a search in New York City for a suspect wanted in an attempted sexual assault in Central Park. Police say a 21-year-old woman was attacked while sunbathing. ABC's Diane Macedo has the latest.
An urgent search is underway in New York Central Park after police say a man tried to sexually assault a woman sunbathing in the middle of the day. The second brazen attack in a city park in 2 weeks.
We have a female white 21 who was sunbathing. She sees a male black coming towards her, exposing himself. She screams and gets up to run. He tackles her from behind.
Police say the victim was able to fight the man off, who then ran away. Now NYPD officers are scouring the park on foot, by bike, and by drone, with the victim riding in a patrol car to help the search.
I can assure you, you see the massive response. We're going to keep Central Park safe, and we're going to continue to be out here until we feel that this perpetrator is off the streets.
The attack comes just days after a suspect was arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in a Queens Park after school, holding her and a friend at knife point.
Just such a horrible story. Diane Macedo joins us now. Diane, what else are police saying about the investigation?
Lindsay, the big focus now is on finding the suspect in this Central Park attack. They describe him as being in his 30s, about 6 feet tall, medium build with curly hair. They say he was wearing a light shirt and shorts, Lindsay.
All right, Diane Macedo for us. Thanks so much, Diane. Police are asking for Texas prosecutors to charge a Texas woman with a hate crime after they say she attempted to drown a 3-year-old Palestinian-American girl. Police say after making racial remarks toward the child's mother, 42-year-old Elizabeth Wolf allegedly grabbed the girl and forced her underwater in a pool. Her mother pulled her from the pool. Wolf is already charged with attempted capital murder and injury of a child. The district's attorney's office is reviewing the case. And we still have much more to get to. Coming up, he's one of the creatives behind Debbie Harry and the classic songs from their band Blondie. Chris Stein tells us why he chose now to chronicle his extraordinary life. The next, Israel's prime minister says intense fighting in Gaza will soon end. The area troops will soon start focusing on.
There is a price to be paid every time a survivor shares their story.
I think it's so hard to live every day feeling like, like I must be broken.
I had just turned 14. And it was scary. It was scary. I will not be silenced.
This church has been alive for decades, and the next thing you know,
all hell breaks loose.
What is the 2x2 church?
It is a secret sect. It flies under the radar. If you don't agree with them, your salvation is at stake.
a stunning amount of information has come out about the misdeeds of some of the ministers. These same people preaching this message were the ones hiding horrific, horrific things.
Do you feel the church accepted abuse?
I wouldn't say accepted it as so much pretended it didn't exist.
Yep, that's him.
Yep. Ready? Kira Phillips with ABC News. Did you sexually abuse Sherry Autry when she was 14 and you were 28?
No comment.
Do you believe your church protected you? Does your church protect sexual predators?
The powerful new Impact by Nightline. So the church saw itself as judge and jury.
There's nothing pretty about hearing this.
Secrets of the 2x2 Church. Now streaming only on Hulu.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
Reporting in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the aftermath of Hurricane Idalia, I'm Em Wynn. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We're tracking several headlines around the world. One of the deadliest terrorist attacks in years hit the area of Dagestan, Russia, with attackers targeting 2 Orthodox churches and 2 synagogues, leaving 20 dead and another 46 injured. The 6 militants behind the deadly assault were also killed by authorities. The attack followed a horrific ISIS attack on a concert hall in Moscow that left 150 killed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the IDF's intense phase of fighting in Gaza is coming to an end, and Israeli troops will now move north, where tensions are growing with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The leader says he remains committed to the ceasefire proposal endorsed by President Biden, but that can't happen without the release of the remaining 120 hostages held by Hamas, and ultimately a, quote, political settlement that provides a better future for Israelis and Palestinians alike. And counting down to the departure of 2 giant pandas bound for the United States, it marks the return of the U.S.-China panda diplomacy program after a pause due to tensions between the 2 countries. The first panda pair will make the 7,300-mile journey to the San Diego Zoo soon after Wednesday's farewell ceremony, with more pandas heading to San Francisco, Atlanta, and Memphis next year. As founding member and guitarist of the iconic band Blondie, Chris Stein, along with lead singer Debbie Harry, mashed funk, jazz, and rock to create songs that still play in our heads 40 years later. Songs like Call Me or One Way or Another, Rapture, and of course, Heart of Glass. Chris Stein is also a photographer, and in his new autobiography, Under a Rock, a memoir, he takes a look at his life from his earliest days in Brooklyn to Blondie's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006. And joining us now is none other than Mr. Chris Stein. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Lindsay.
So many people know you. You'd have to literally be living under a rock, right, to not know the band. Is that, well, let me just ask, Under a Rock, where'd you come up with the title?
It makes a rock and roll reference, but also has something to do with the tunnel vision that one acquires over the years.
And so many people know your music, they know of you, but they don't necessarily know you and your story. What made you decide now's the time to write your memoir?
I wanted to get it out while I still had some brain cells left, you know, and the memories are still fresh-ish.
You, of course, helped shape Debbie Harry's image. How much did she actually have, in turn, an influence on your own life?
We were still are close. We've known each other for 50 years now. Debbie's a great person. A lot of people saw my photographs of her before they heard the music, early on, all that stuff.
A number of people will hear your albums and may not know, but you were the architect of the sound. And that fame wasn't really overnight. How did you know, like, how to create these, really what would become earworms, these songs that we just know without even knowing that we're aware of?
I was always a music fan. I grew up in the music scene. My life touched lots of places in music history, American music history. That's what's in the book. as well as the Blondie stuff.
And of course, you talk about 1972 in particular. I mean, you guys were around when, we're talking about figures in that era, Warhol or Bowie, and the role of New York City. Give us a sense, because I was struck by the idea that you talk about 1972 New York City as really being kind of empty and the fringe groups really being on the fringe.
Yeah, the book is very New York-centric. I tried to give a little vibe. We used to live on the Bowery. It was really rough and ready back then. Now there's a Whole Foods across the street from where we used to live. It's ironic to me.
I want to extend our condolences. I know your daughter had struggled with addiction and recently passed away. You and members of the band struggled with addiction. How did you overcome that ultimately?
I just took time and effort. It's in the book. It's so much more dangerous now. I'd really urge young people to avoid the traps. It's not like it used to be.
How is it different?
Fentanyl is deadly. It just can kill you.
When you look back at the band's legacy, what are you most proud of?
Oh, the fact that people know the music. I met a guy recently who's 40 years old, said, no, Blondie, I don't know if I know Blondie, and then we played the song for him. He goes, oh, yeah, that.
Of course.
Was
it cathartic at all, writing down your story?
Yeah, it was a whole exercise in mind control. Took quite a while. I did all the writing myself.
How long did it take you?
About a year and a half, not every day, but on and off.
Were there times that you had to put it aside for a little bit and pick it back up later?
No, I enjoy the writing process. Maybe I'll write something else at some point.
We'll look forward to that as well. Mr. Stein, we thank you so much for joining us. Want to let everyone know Chris Stein's autobiography, Under a Rock, a memoir, is now available wherever books are sold. And still to come, how much would it cost to explore London and then get a last-minute ticket to see Taylor Swift? We put it to the test.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. And the magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky,
Minneapolis,
Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live, streaming free right now wherever you stream your news. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Good to meet you.
Ismail?
David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
This weekend, the UK was in its Eras era. Taylor Swift's blockbuster tour made a stop there, and our Will Gans traveled to London to score a last-minute ticket to the show and to enjoy all the city has to offer on the cheap. Take a look.
My name is Taylor, and welcome to the Eras Tour.
It's the bucket list concert tour with a billion-dollar reputation.
Are you ready for it?
But with some tickets skyrocketing upwards of $5,000 for her shows in the States, Swifties are turning to the trend of tour tourism to see the star overseas.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm flying to London in the middle seat of row 53, hoping to snag last-minute tickets to one of her shows at Wembley Stadium. And if you're up for the trip, experts say to wait as long as you can when buying resale tickets.
It depends on the venue. It depends on the city that you're in. It depends on the day of the week even. So there's always risk, right? The more flexible you can be, the more you're going to be able to save on tickets.
Well, we've officially checked into the hotel, and we got a pretty solid deal right here in the middle of Soho. How posh. So I've got some extra spending money. Now let's go explore. To get around the city, consider taking an Uber boat by Thames Clippers. You'll get amazing views of all the sights, like my friend Ben back here, and it all costs less than $10. But since old spending habits die screaming, we met fellow Swiftie, the points guy, Brian Kelly, at the Black Dog, made famous in Taylor's song, you guessed it, the Black Dog.
People need to pay in the local currency and make sure you have a credit card that does not charge a foreign transaction fee. Staying at a hotel on public transit can save you a ton.
She has this massive tour that goes into December. How do you decide which city you can go to in order to get the most bang for your buck?
So, I mean, the first thing you can do is very easily, I today was looking at future tour dates. You can see the market for each city. I looked Warsaw, tickets start in the 400s today. It's really inexpensive when you get there, and go have a cultural experience that you wouldn't have otherwise had.
And look what my budget made me do. Seek out local markets like Portobello Road, cheap eats with international flavor. All of this amazing Caribbean food for under $9? Can't beat that. Not bad for under $6. All of this, $12. But if a fancy night is more your style, the app First Table will score you dinner for 50% off just for booking your reservation during the first seating of the night. This salmon comes out to $15, and it's $1 million view. And speaking of the concert, I still hadn't secured my ticket. It sent me back to the beginning. Until a fellow American Swiftie saved the day. The online group Eras Tour Resell helps Swifties like me get fairly priced tickets, so I just snagged a face value seat for $262. A similar seat in Indianapolis is currently listed at over $4 grand. Nice. With only hours to spare, time to snag that all-important Eras Tour outfit. Reputation, red, blank space. We found some Taylor treasures. We met fellow fans Rosie and Kathleen to get bejeweled on a budget with secondhand styles at Beyond Retro.
Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Hope you're ready for the concert.
I am now. Officially in my red era, and for less than $40. Time for my wildest dreams to come true. Taking my seat inside Wembley Stadium, it's a London love story, baby. Just say yes.
What a great deal and what a great assignment. Our thanks to Will for that. That is our show for tonight. I'm Lindsay Davis. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com. The news never stops. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.
Thursday, on the day of their first debate, stream ABC News